Hello and welcome back everyone to the EquityMint tokenization platform. Today we're going to show you how to tokenize your assets in just a few simple steps. For starters, you're going to sign in. If you have registered before, this is what you'll see. Enter your email and sign with the MetaMask wallet extension. This MetaMask extension is downloadable through the Chrome extensions store. Confirm the message, which is just your public address and a timestamp, and then click sign in. Next, you'll click operations up here next to admin. You won't see admin unless you're an admin of the platform, so just click operations. Then if you have not done so, you're going to add yourself as an issuer, and you'll see that here on the upper left. It just asks you your company name and some details about your company as an issuer. To do that, you'll click the plus button right here and fill out the necessary information. When you're done, you'll click the arrow here for upload. And it's telling you that, hey, you still need to enter this information. So, information such as company name, etc., etc. When you're done and you upload successfully, you'll click reload and you'll see yourself as an issuer. Now in this case, I am associated with two different companies. We're going to concentrate on US FinTech. Now, if this was your company, you would see all the details of your company here. And if you have already done some token issues, you'll see the details here on this right data model called token issue system. If nothing exists here for you yet, this will just be empty, and you will just press the plus button here to add your token issue system. You'll fill out the details. We've gone over what those details mean in other videos, so we're not going to go over these here. Suffice to say, most of them are self-evident. Now, in this case, we're actually going to be deploying the platform token eMint. So we're going to seed from our models. First, we're going to select the symbol. You can only deploy on ETH for now. Shortly, you'll be able to deploy on ETH, BNB, AVAX, and Base. So select ETH for your chain symbol. Now, add all of the details about your token. In this case, we're seeding from our models, as you can see here. When you're done filling out the information, you'll see something like this. Of course, you'll be using your own project name, and the entity that is going to be the administrator, you'll give that a name as well here. And as we're really trying hard not to go over what all these details mean because we've done that before, but just to give you a quick overview, you can see some of the more important items like the total amount, initial total issued, your initial max supply. In this case for us, it's 210 million on ETH. Now, among the more important items, what is your distribution rev share? It might be 0. It could be any amount between 0 and 100, depending on how you operate your business or what you're intending to do with your token. In our case, we're going to start off with 12% of all of the revenues of EquityMint that comes into the platform gets distributed to our token holders. This is what we're starting with. The only guarantees we make about what we end with are in our subscription agreement. We'll get to that in a minute. You can set these items, and again, trying really hard not to explain what these mean because that's not the purpose of this video. There is one item here though, distribution supply basis. This means how many shares do we have to sell, how many tokens do we have to sell before we're actually giving away the distribution rev share percent. In this case, 12%. And in this case, it's $1 million. Anything less than that, then there is there's a lower amount of revenue that is distributed among the shareholders until at least 1 million tokens are sold. You can make this 0, and then you can start giving away a large revenue share percentage to just a few shareholders, giving people an incentive to buy. 1 million is quite low, actually, so there is quite an incentive to get in early anyway. So what is our token base URL? In our case, it's no longer going to be eMint subscription agreement. It's going to be tokenoffer.php. This enables us to gate, and it will enable you to gate your offer if you're a 506B. If you're 506C, then the token offer automatically recognizes that and doesn't gate, allowing the public to see it. These are all chain-based settings that will allow your version of tokenoffer.php to work, should you choose to have gating at all. Otherwise, you can just make a direct link to your document without using the gating files that we provide for you. In this case, we do have a token doc hash already. And for you, you're going to select the document, and when you select it, it will automatically generate that hash. The document is your actual offering agreement, your subscription agreement, whatever you would like to call it. It contains the representation of what the token actually is, and the hash of which is here is embedded in your token system. There's a bit of an explainer here that explains how to your admin how to copy this file and upload it to your server if you wish to gate your document, your offering document. Now, the only thing missing is the registration audit email. We're going to add it here. We're going to call it self-cert@equitymint.org. That's the CC for anyone self-certing. Now, in our case, for this offering, for this token system, the self-cert is not sufficient because we're 506C. All self-certifications come with document requests and manual whitelisting link for those who qualify. And we are also under Reg S, so if you show you're not a U.S. resident, then your accreditation status may not be necessary to prove. Now, let's see. Do we have all of the items here? Looks like we do. Is there anything else we want to change? The token description is the EquityMint token, no longer the model as well. This is just the EquityMint token system, which is a more accurate representation of the entire token framework. It's not just a token, it's 21 contracts. Now, token name, EquityMint, token symbol, eMint, token description, there it is. And the project name is just the EquityMint platform token system. And again, no longer the models. We are generating just like you will generate your projects on the platform. We're using the platform to create our own, the actual platform token. So what's next? If all of this looks good to you, your project ID is not settable. It's automatically generated. If this looks good to you, you'll upload. And if you're missing anything, it'll tell you. If you're not, you'll just click OK. And let's see. And the query was successful. So now we'll reload, and you will see the record you just added. Now we're ready to deploy. You will see a deploy button. You are ready to deploy. So let's do it. Now it's saying, hey, are you sure you didn't come in under a white label? Because there's substantial discounts if you did. If you did, select your white label. And if you get it right, if you were invited in by a white label that's not restricted or is restricted but includes your address, you can include it here. If not, just continue if you weren't referred, and you're deploying right through the platform, right through the base domain. So what model? We are on ETH, and we just There's only one button here, folks, auto deploy. That's what you'll click. And then you'll click fetch models and deploy current phase. You're only going to have this one button. This button won't exist for you guys. That's only an admin button. So really nothing to think about. Just click the buttons as you see them. Follow this. You don't have to read it. Just watch it. Watch the words flow by, and it's setting up the parameters for deployment now. Now we are ready to deploy. You'll see it's a 6-step process. For you guys, there's a deployment fee, and that depends if you're going to have transfer fees or not. Obviously, you won't see this wave deploy fee. This is only for admins. So if you go right into the deploy phase 1 of 6, it tells you that it says, hey, you're going to have to, you'll pay a $1,000 deploy fee, and it shows you that there. In this case, we're going to waive that deployment fee, and we're going to start right with phase 1. And this is going to generate the controller and the fee manager. So we'll click confirm. When it's done, it should jump right into phase 2 after a pre-flight test. So, okay, it completed. Now it should go into phase 2. There it is, deploy phase 2 of 6, token content plus time lock. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Phase 1's already deployed, by the way. Let's check it out just to see. Here's the new controller, and if we click it, you can see we've got a fee manager in there, and the controller factory itself is also in there. Very exciting. Let's move right on to phase 2. Deploy phase 2. And confirm. If this continues smoothly, it looks like there'll be an overall total fees of only $60. Not bad for deploying 14 total very full contracts. Okay, and phase 3 is okay. Now this is very important because we're going to we got a new token address. Cool. It looks like a cool address too. Wow. It's got our favorite number 18 in it. And now we're going to click OK to actually write this address to the contract at project ID 4. And let's see, that may not work. We might have to do it again, but let's try it. And it worked. Look at that. So now you'll click reload to get the token address into the centralized data model. But now we should be able to deploy phase 4 of 6. And we go right into the nav pool and liquidity provider. Let's just check right here. Let's just look at our controller. We could also look down here, current deployment status. And it shows, look at this, wow. We've got the token, we've got a sale manager. We've got all of these admins in the controller. Well, in this case, for now, it's just me, the deployer, right? And then these are other entities. Smart contracts themselves have a status inside the network, in the controller. They are what are called smart contract entities. They are official entities with the admin type of smart contract. Let's move along into deploy phase 4 of 6. $11 to deploy the nav pool and liquidity provider. And most of you aren't going to be using half of these contracts. There's a lot of power and a lot of flexibility here as your system, as your business grows, and as your roles might change, as your organization might change. You might find yourself operating a fund, and your token itself might be representative of that fund. Although it's not too likely that you're going to start off as a private placement for raising money for a shopping mall and then suddenly become a fund. Highly improbable. However, this is just to show you the power of our system. You can use it for either purpose and many, many others. Now, let's go back to home. The transaction is complete, and now we're all ready for phase 5. This locks it in, by the way. You must deploy at least the 5 of the 6 phases to lock in your token system. So don't think you can just stop. You can stop, and you can go away and have a drink. Relog in, come back, and you'll still be at phase 5. You won't lose any of your work here, folks. Everything is saved for you. Your state, your phase state is saved, both on-chain and in our centralized management system. So let's go back into deploy phase 5 of 6. And okay, let's finish this up. Let's confirm. Let's go back to home. And we're almost done. In less than 10 minutes, we will have deployed our entire system. This is actually quite incredible for what's actually going on behind the scenes here. There's so much, too much to discuss. My videos are typically an hour and a half, and I'm trying to keep this one under 20 minutes. So let's go right into deploy phase 6 of 6, restricted sale plus team plus release. This finalizes the minimum core contracts necessary for your token system. Everything else is superfluous and allows you to do many other things in the future, like property NFTs if you're representing government, and product NFTs if you're doing, say, concerts, for example. Your token system represents your business, and anything under that represents products and services. That's a good way to look at it. So in the case of government, it represents a government entity, and the product or service might be a food stamp program, for example, that we're about to launch in Honduras in the next few days. So let's go into deploy phase 6 of 6. This is the final stage, folks. And let's confirm. Okay. And that's it. Now you're done. And we did this all in total under 12 minutes. I did press confirm. What happened here? Let's see. Yep. Did it go? It's asking me again. Oh, there it went. Okay, it took. Okay, so now we just deployed the final phase. We're gonna go back to home here. And this is it. We wait for this to complete. And then just to be sure, once it says we're done, we click the current deploy status, and you're going to see it's going to say complete. Actually, the entire process is completed, which means you can go right on and go and deploy another token if you wanted to. But you cannot for your address, for your public address, which is your login, username. Think of your username as your public key, or your public key as your username. You see how this is done? It says here we go, deploy phase 6 of 6. It just completed everything. Phase 6 complete, full deployment complete. Really amazing here. Pre-flight, all 6 phases, and you see the fee template matched. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been able to deploy even the first phase. But we're done. So now let's see what this looks like. Current deployment status, and it won't show you your controller here because everything's finished, right? You might be able to see it up here, and this shows everything in it, right? Now we just have to make one fix for you guys. You should not be able to deploy phase 6 again, obviously. That button should be grayed out, and cancel should be changed to finished, which just closes the modal, because we are done, folks. But as you can see, it is not fixed yet, and if you did press deploy phase 6 again, it will just start a new project, actually, as phase 1, and you'll be launching and deploying a new token system with a new token address, but everything else with the same parameters. Obviously not something you want to do. So we will make that change shortly so you don't accidentally do that. Just remember, for now, if you use this version of the system, do not attempt to deploy phase 6 twice. Just cancel after phase 6 is deployed to close the modal. You close out of the deployer, and you'll see that you're done. And if you try to deploy again with the same token address, now it won't let you at this point. In this case, okay, I wasn't referred, but it's going to say, hey, the project's been completed. And the only reason it's letting me do it again is because I'm an admin. But you will not be able to do it again. You'll have to create a new token system. So this is really exciting. This is completed. Now the next step is you're going to click Manage. Again, once again, you can view your controller, see the contents of all the tokens that you have in it, right? You can see both the deployment state here and the controller contents here. And you can actually see, in some cases, in this case, if they're based on models, they're not going to be verified. But what you are going to see is that these are automatically audited as having come from the models as audited contracts. So we're not going to click this because it's going to open up the Etherscan address for the project contract and not the model, and so it will not show as verified. What we're going to do now is just click Manage, because this is what you have to do now. Next thing you want to do is you want to sell your token, right? We assume. So we click Manage, and it's going to bring you into the token sale side. And what's the first thing you want to do? You want to connect as admin to your token. And token sale was found. This is all good news. The token is called eMint. There's exactly one holder, which is the token itself, which is the token contract itself. And if we wanted to transfer it, you would go up here and you would go into swap and transfer, and it won't work until you activate your token. So you scroll all the way down to the bottom. You're going to pay the activation fee to activate your token, which is 200 USDC. And that's going to go to, in this case, it's going to go to whatever we have, which is an earlier contract that we have. So you pay the activation fee to activate the token, and then you'll activate your sale once you're ready. And what makes you ready to activate your sale? You make sure that it adheres to your guidelines, and your guidelines are here where it says, oh, first you must add a self-cert email. Remember we said self-cert at EquityMint.org. This is a public email, so you must have one of these so that the platform itself, acting as what's called an email and domain verification registrar, can CC you each potential investor or purchaser's information that they've attested to, that they've certified, that they've read the document, etc. So you'll add that official email, and not as the hash only, but you'll actually add it, the actual email itself, not just the hash. So be prepared to have this public email vetted so that it has spam protection, etc. Just like any business has a human resources email, for example. So, or some public-facing email. So we're going to put self-cert at EquityMint.org as our public-facing email for self-certs. And once that's done, you'll see that it's done here. And then we will activate the token. Okay, email updated successfully. Now this is where you set the price. We've already set the price, but you can change it. You can also set staggered prices if after, say, 1 million tokens are sold, you want the price to go up, you can do that before the liquidity pool kicks in. There is a liquidity pool as well, guys, as you saw in our controller, and anybody can fund it. Any third party can fund it. But any tokens you buy, because we are 506C, will be locked for 12 months. And you saw that in one of our settings before we did the deployment. So now These are if you actually wanted to limit the amount of tokens someone could purchase per address to ensure a good distribution, you can do that. There's a lot of things in here you can set, but the very first thing you would need to do to allow transferring tokens, say, into a sale contract is to pay the activation fee and activate the token. Before that, you will not be able to do any token transfers. In fact, we could try, and you'd see it would fail. We could actually go to, say, let's say we went to, so we don't forget this, so we don't lose this. Let's say we went into swap and transfer, and we connected to that. And we tried to move tokens right now into the sales contract. Now, even if there's transfer fees, that would work. That would be a free transfer, but it's probably going to be locked to even do internal transfers like that, because let's see. Let's do an executive peer treasury transfer from the token to the token sale. Let's say we just want to do, say, 1,000 test tokens, right? And no note, because now if we try this, it should fail. It says the token's not activated. That's great, and it did fail. So let's activate the token. Okay, let's go back into admin, and we are already connected here as admin. Let's go back down and pay the activation fee and activate the token. Now, this is going to an old treasury address, because we just made our new treasury, right, for our token. So let's just hope I can recover this $200 from the old treasury address. Let's see. I don't even know where that fee is going to go. If I wanted to know where that fee was going to go before we actually do this, I would look in, and you guys could see this too. It's all public information. You would look in this factory. Under the factory, I can actually enter the controller address here and go to the factory. Now, if we do this and we connect to the factory, we can see for the EquityMint.org domain, I can look at, what do I want to do here? I want to load the existing, and there it is. And we could see that the activation fee is $200, but where is it going? It's going to this EquityMint project revenue treasury, but which one? It's going to this address here, ending in 994. So obviously, as the platform, we want to make sure we get that back, because that's an old treasury. And we in fact want to change this to our new treasury. So we're getting into some functions that you don't really need to see, but it's good that you know they're here. You could see how transparent we are with everything. Now, what we want to do is change this 994 to what our actual new treasury is now for the token we just deployed. What we really want to see is the project revenue treasury, and this is it, AC9. So I actually want, in this case, I want all incoming fees for all the thousands of projects coming into EquityMint to go to this project revenue treasury. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the new template for the base domain, EquityMint.org. We're going to load existing again, and we're going to modify it. So instead of going to 994, it's now going to go to AC9. And this is version eMint Treasury version 43103 actually, and there it is. So I think we've got that. And as a template for the platform itself, this is the base template. We're going to add a subdomain called 0.equitymint.org, for which the holder fees will be 0, and you'll only pay you'll pay a higher deploy fee, closer to more like $8,000. But there'll be no transfer fees, no holder fees, and registration fees will only be $20. So now we're going to, these are people registering for sale, for purchase. So now we're going to update this template fee because we just changed to this entity address. So let's update the template fee. And now it should be down here. There it is. See, notice how we changed the 102 to 103. And now we'll save the template. So now, sorry for this diversion. Once this is done now, I can feel comfortable sending a $200 fee, and all other fees that come in will now be diverted to the platform treasury. Plus, you guys can make your own, you'll have your own project treasuries, and you'll have your own EOA addresses, meaning personal addresses, that you can set fees for. And there's a lot of fees you can set, as you see here, lots of different fee types. So you'll manage your own fee structures just by going to project fees here. Now obviously if you tried to set factory fees, you would get an error not being an admin, a platform admin. But you can set your own project fees, assuming that you are an admin of your project, which if you deploy your project, you are. But now we're going to go back to admin now that we're done with this small diversion, which took us probably 15 minutes, so much for our quick 20-minute video. But now we're going to pay the activation fee and activate the token. I might not have, let's see, did it work? It said it was a malicious, I don't even know. Yeah, it does that on contracts it doesn't recognize. So you're going to see this and you'll have to ignore it. Now, I just sent that $200, at least I think I did. At least I thought I did, but review the alert. I've acknowledged the risk, still want to proceed. It's more dangerous showing these alerts than it is just allowing someone to confirm, because they could be confirming twice, which it feels like I did. So this is these are one of the downsides of using MetaMask, because it gives you far too many warnings. It doesn't even say it might be malicious, it says it is malicious, which is just fraudulent on the part of MetaMask. Just FYI, you guys will need to ignore those messages. We've already made some major ground with MetaMask, fighting with them, cease and desist for their messages on our verified contracts, and now we're going to work on our deployed projects as well, so that your customers do not see any warning messages either. Now, let's see. That's it. So the token is now activated. The sale is not. I'm not ready to activate my sale. But if I were, it would just be as simple as activating it. No tokens there anyway. But let's go put some tokens in the sale contract. Okay, got to go up here. Let's put some tokens in the sale contract. How do we do that? Go back to swap and transfer. And now we're going to, let's close this, find a project, because that's annoying. We are in swap and transfer, executive peer treasury. We want to move from the issue token to the sale, to the sale manager, right? We want to move, say, for starters, let's move let's move 1 million tokens. We're only selling, I think we're selling 2 million in on the ETH side and 2 million on the BNB side, something like that. Not too many. I can't guarantee how many will be sold overall, but certainly that's our plan for now, is not to sell more than that, and then the rest are given to team members up to, and not even the rest, only up to like 21 million times 2, like 42 million, and then the balance to be used for operations or just to sit in the treasury. So there'll be a very small amount that users will be able to, enjoy distributions from. Again, there's no guarantee on the percentage of distributions that we're allocating, but for now, as you saw, it's set automatically to 12%. That means even the fee I just paid myself, the $200 fee, right? I just paid the platform. That part of that sits and gets distributed, awaiting token purchasers. So it's a lot more concrete than other token systems out there. But this is why we chose to be 506C as a security and not a utility token, because dividends, or I should say distributions, are a lot more concrete. As small or as large as they might be, they're a lot more concrete than burning tokens or doing staking and staking rewards in the token. You see where that's gotten everybody today. Most people have lost their shirts on that. This has the real world I guess it's a technical representation of the real world, as much as it can be, of a real world organization. And so we're going to try to send, say, 1 million tokens right now to the sales contract, and sometimes that happens. So now we've got 1 million, and no note. We're going to do this as just a transfer from issue token to issue token sale manager. And again, interacting with malicious contract, false. Okay, so we review the alert. I've acknowledged the risk, still want to proceed, got it. Okay, confirm. Okay, so now we've done that. Now we're getting closer to being ready to launch our sale. Well, one of the things I said that was really important that we did, and by the way, you should see 2 holders shortly here. I don't know if this is going to update by itself, but we'll hit refresh when it's ready. Refresh. Now there's 2 holders. Look at that. 209 in the token contract itself, and then there's a balance of 1 million in the sale contract. If you wanted to see for sure, there it is, treasury balance, issue token sale manager is 1 million. So there you go. So that worked. Now, what do we do to actually do the sale, right? Well, find a project. We want to find the project. We want to find the Equity Mint platform token sale. If you wanted to buy tokens, it would bring you to the token sale side. But before we do that, we want to show you, first of all, the contract isn't going to line up. The offering document, we have a couple of things that we changed, so the system wouldn't let you purchase anyway, even if we went to it. But see how it says the compliance is gated? This shows that, so if we clicked it, you'd have to enter your referrer email address, because this is defaults. All projects default to private offers, 506B, requiring referral access code before it will even attempt to show you whatever link you put in there, right? And then if you choose to show your document, even though you're 506B, without using your own or our own offer gate, then you're doing so at your own risk. And we don't recommend that you do that. Only show your document if you've given a person that you know the referral code and the referral access code. And we'll show you how to generate one of those if you're 506B. If you're 506C, then you don't have to worry about that, and the public can see it. But you do have to manually approve. Now, I'm not legal counsel, and you're expected to have your own legal counsel to advise you accordingly. Now that we're getting into this kind of stuff, we just provide the technology to allow you to do what it is you need to do according to your legal counsel's advice. That said, on the technology side, we support 506B and 506C. So let's go back into the admin side. I wanted to show you something important, and I keep forgetting to show you. I want to show you your flags. These are your policy flags here. Now, as I said, it defaults to private offering, but you might be a 506C like we are, right? So if I turn off this bit 16 506B and I turn on bit 17 506C and Reg S, then I am supporting a public document. So the website will respond accordingly. Now, this is what the questionnaire will look like. You see, this says private offering only, right? Which means the public solicitation not allowed. Token address may be hidden, referral only. And referral required, referral email required to begin registration. So we're not doing that, so we would turn these two off, right? And referral required. So you see where it says referral required, it actually asks you referred by, who referred you into this, right? And for a public offering, we don't need that. Nevertheless, we might require it anyway. We might say, hey, it's nice to have a referred by email address, but this gets hashed and stored on chain with a code as well. So it becomes quite secure. So I wouldn't necessarily check it unless you need it. And for 506B, you need it. You need to know and prove who brought the person into the organization, and that person should be a team member, right? You were brought in by a team member. There's the connection needed for a private offering. So, meaning there was a substantive relationship with the project and the person that is considering purchasing into it before they saw the offer. So, in our case, we are not going to require the email address. We're not going to require the referral, or necessarily even have one there. Let's see. So we are going to say OK, because that was just a preview. And so if we actually want to set the policy flags to be Reg S and 506C, we need to set the flags here. Now let's say U.S. investors must be accredited. That's true. Non-U.S. investors must be accredited. No. But do we want to do KYC AML? Yeah, that's required, right? So, and the accreditation verification being required as far as evidence documents are here, and it means that you must upload documentation. Registrar jurisdiction residency verification required, yes. Non-U.S. persons allowed, yes. Show Rule 144 lock disclaimer, yes. Manual sale approval required. That means this is not whitelisting. This is what a government is going to use for the government project. This is where a token admin can approve
somebody who qualifies for, say, a food stamp. And only the stores that accept those food stamps get whitelisted. So it's a separate thing. Allow emailed self-cert docs as platform bucket links. So docs required in self-cert, registrant must upload a single 5 megabyte PDF combining national ID and proof of accreditation. So we're going to click that because we're 506C. We're also going to allow emailed self-cert docs as platform bucket links so that you're not actually emailing docs to our platform, but they're getting stored temporarily for only 7 to 14 days, requiring the project itself to download the file within that time frame. Otherwise, they'll lose it. They'll have to email the potential registrant, potential purchaser, potential investor to get their documentation. Now, set project policy flags. I think we're ready to go. We can preview this questionnaire. It looks something like this, right? These are attestations, plus there'll be a document upload that's required, right? So that document can come later, but we try and make it an easy, simple, single self-certification where even that document itself gets a document hash as well that gets on chain as well. So okay, so set the policy flags. Let's try this combination. Now once we confirm this, not only does it change the questionnaire to the user, but because we selected bit 3, token whitelist required for primary purchase, that means we need to add ourselves to the project as registrar. We need to add some team member as a registrar to the project. Alternatively, we could add a third-party registrar. Now there's 2 ways to add a registrar to your project if bit 3 is selected and bit 4 and bit 5 are not. One of the ways is go back up here to the admin section, table of contents, and just click add registrar entity and enter the details. And then just click add registrar. The other way you can do it is here in access roles. Go back up to the top and go to admin, but go down to access roles, system access roles, connect to your token, and select the admin type registrar. Now you can see we've already added ourselves as registrar, but had we not, we would just do it here. Enter the label, enter the national ID, and add the entity. And now it says adding entity to registrar. And there you go. You can also remove entities as a super from access roles. Let's cancel this. We don't want to do it, but you notice that there's a lot of different access roles. Who's the treasury admin? You can have more than one. Who are the smart contract entities? These are them. As a super, you can remove entities, and that would destroy your token system if you remove the wrong entity, so be very careful not to remove any of your smart contract entities. You cannot add smart contract entities as a project admin, just FYI. But you can add additional treasury admins, other supers, and other token admins, and other registrars. 6C, bit 3 must be checked. This means nobody can purchase without the project verifying the documents and manually whitelisting their public key, their public address in the token content manager on chain. So this bit 3 is very important. If there's any kind of document verification necessary. Finally, we just want to establish that there's 2 concepts here. One is the concept of whitelisting in general, requiring a whitelist for sale. What's the purpose of that? And it might seem obvious. Requiring a whitelist technically means that the project itself must manually review documents or have a third-party registrar review documents. But there is another option, which is bit 3 and bit 4 together, which authorizes the platform itself to whitelist. Now, what that means is that the platform then certifies and makes an attestation But in reality, all the platform is attesting to is that the questionnaire is valid, and it does that anyway with the required self-certification and email verification attestation in bit 6. So this bit 4 is a bit superfluous, because if you have bit 3 on and you want a whitelist, you're generally not going to want the platform to do that for you. And if you do want the platform to do it for you, then you don't need bit 3 anyway. You don't need to whitelist anyway for sale if you're of the mentality that self-certification alone is sufficient. So bit 4 might be something that we remove in the future, because it's not necessary, and although officially it asserts that the platform itself is whitelisting a user, in reality it does no more than just do the domain and email and questionnaire attestation. It does not certify documents at this time. In the future, it might, when we have AI linked to documents, and for that reason, the platform authentication will become more relevant for whitelisting, because the regular domain attestation does not certify documents or go above and beyond anything that domain and email verification. Doc URL is the doc URL that you specify that's embedded in the token, actually points to a document that has a hash that's also embedded in the document. That's what domain attestation means. It's really doc URL attestation, actually. So that at a certain moment in time, when the user registered, the doc that they claim to have read is actually the same document that is embedded in the token. It's an important attestation, but it's not quite the same thing as asserting that that the participant qualifies to purchase your offer, purchase into your offer, right? So fundamentally, the domain or doc URL attestation and email attestation, bit 6, is different than whitelisting. So you will not want to check bit 4. And at this time, if any documents are required at all, then bit 4 would not be allowed anyway. It would return false. It will not whitelist anything where docs are required, because we have no AI linked to the document set for registration just yet.